It's not an optical illusion. My man is here today. We got a lot to say. People Before Politics Radio.
Twenty-two million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned into Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics Radio Show, episode 338. I am your host, AJ Woodson, with my man, my partner in crime, Damon K. Jones. No, it's not an optical illusion. The brother is here in the studio with us.
What's up?
And we got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's a war going on outside nobody's safe from. There's a lot going on. Yo, word up. Yo, shout out to David Randolph Holder tuned in. Shout out to Keith Olson. Shout out to my brother Joseph Greer and the ATL tuned in. And everybody else who's tuned in. We're streaming live on Facebook, on my page, or the Damon's page, or the Black Westchester pages. We're streaming live on the Black Westchester LinkedIn page. We're streaming live on the Black Westchester YouTube page. Shout out to Nicole Benjamin. So, Damon, everybody ain't heard from you in a while. Say what's up to the people. What's going on? What you been up to, my brother?
Working.
Writing books. I see you
making money, working.
Got the book display behind you?
Yeah. For those who haven't bought the book yet, please get the book. The Empowering Benefits of Detox Cleansing and Eating Clean. It's on Amazon. Let me get right there. Please, y'all want to get in shape. About to get warm outside. You want to bring your blood pressure down, your cholesterol down. You want to fight that diabetes. Definitely get the book. Also, we got Eating Clean and Juicing to Live. Over 100 juicing and blending recipes. It's great. We got blending recipes for everything to address all issues: high blood pressure, diabetes, cleaning your kidneys, how to clean your kidneys, detoxing your gut out, having a healthy gut. It's all there. It's all on Amazon. Definitely get that. And in June, we're coming out with I started at 42. Then I'm up to like 50. I have to change the titles because I keep thinking of things to put in it. But I think right now we're at the 50 building blocks to be a divine black masculine, discussing manhood, black manhood in your spirituality, your divinity, for success. So God willing, that will be available on Father's Day.
And I got the joint. Yes, it's coming out June 15th. Black Westchester, the origin story, and how my faith was instrumental in this grand experiment. A lot of people be asking us all the time, every time they see us, how we started Black Westchester. They wanted to know the story. So, me and Damon into all the Marvel movies, they got the Avengers and then they got the origin story. So I'm about to give you all the origin story of Black Westchester. It should be out on Amazon June 15th. It's finished. Just got to do the final edit, get with my daughter, let her do the cover. And of course the cover is going to be Black Westchester. You know what I'm saying? So working on that now, but June 15th should be available on Amazon. Word up. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, for the second year in a row, your boy got the journalism fellowship from the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY. So I'm a fellow, a double fellow. As Bob says, I need to put that in my resume. I'm a fellow, whatever that means. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what it means, because I be seeing it like guys be coming on MSN. And he's a senior fellow at so
right. I think it boils down to you're an expert in your field.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. So this is the second year. It's a paid fellowship. Last year I had to cover the New York City race. This year I'm covering the statewide races. So we'll be doing stuff on redistricting. I'm doing a piece right now on redistricting. If you want to speak on redistricting and you want to be quoted in the article, definitely hit me at blackwestchester@gmail.com. I'm starting to put that together now. Redistricting, how that's going to affect the current election. The judge rejecting the lines now, and they're having to go back and appeal it. So that could push.
I thought they was going to let it go for now and change it after the election.
Well, as of right now, the last thing I heard, unless something has changed, the judge rejected it. Accused the Democrats of gerrymandering, what the Republicans are doing all over the country, and said that they had to resubmit new lines, and if they didn't, they would have to pay for, I forgot what the position is called, for someone to come in and redo the lines. And it could push the primary back as late as August 28th.
Well,
but I was talking to Tom Abernathy about it when we had him on. Well, I interviewed him the other day, Assemblyman Tom Abernathy, and he was saying that he believes that whatever will happen, they'll allow the lines to stay the same, and if there's going to be a change, it'll be for next year, because the concern was if they're not going to accept the lines, all the candidates who went out and got signatures, if the lines are going to change, some of the people that got signatures for ain't going to be good no more, and they're going to have to get new signatures. So I'm trying to see how that's going to work.
That's not the court's problem.
That's not the court's problem.
Exactly. No, they're playing politics with the court, right? Well, the ruling saying that no, but that's not the court's problem. The court only has to rule if it's legal or not legal. If it's not legal, then y'all gonna have to do what you got to do. And I don't see the judge. I don't see the judge caring about that. Right?
No, the judge doesn't care about that. The judge said it was gerrymandering. They gave the Democrats an unfair advantage, and they had to do it over. That was the last thing I heard. Now, there may be some developments that have come since then that I have not heard. But again, I talked to the assemblyman the other day, earlier this week, Tuesday, I believe, and Tuesday or Wednesday. And, he as far as I know, it hasn't been changed. It hasn't been rectified yet.
mean,
so I'm going to be doing a big article. One of the articles for the fellowship will be based on that and the whole redistricting and what the new districts and the North lines, and anybody who wants to speak on that, who has knowledge of that and wants to be included in the article and quoted, email me at blackwestchester@gmail.com. Put redistricting in the subject, and I will get at you and with some questions.
Is it? I
Word
mean,
up.
I still go back to Bob's question or Bob's statement to the in Greenberg. If the Republicans can win on that, what is the argument when Dr. Bob brings that when Bob brings that there is not one district in the state of New York that Black people have a stronghold?
They've changed the line since that day when we went to the commission hearing.
Right.
And the original lines have been changed. And
the original lines from that one
have been changed because they ended up putting New Rochelle and Pelham and part of the Bronx with Nassau County and Suffolk County, which used to be part of the district we're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the new lines. The old lines didn't break it up like that. So these are the newer lines after that thing me and Bob went to, and when Bob made his when he testified at the hearing saying that, because when the original one, he said there was no district that was all black, that blacks had the majority, and Bob broke down the statistics,
right,
how many black people there are in the state, and that we should have at least, if it was equal, we would have like 5 point something districts or something like that. And he broke it all down, but there was no district. So how they tried to respond to him is that there are several districts that are minority majority. And we were all talking about, no, black majority. They tried to say minority.
Exactly. Well,
they tried to play that game with us.
Exactly. So, Pisinian Kapotokwa, whatever his name is.
I'm not sure where you come from. Welcome to the show. You come and tune in.
Thank you for watching. He says, hello, what's your stance on white privilege? I mean, we're Black Westchester. We're Black Westchester, man. My stance on white privilege is that it's alive. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
no doubt.
It seems like, you're from a European over, I'm assuming, right?
Where are you from? If you can answer, where you tuned in from? So we can know.
Please let us know where you tuned in from. I like your hat; it's very nice. I have one myself. Please let us know where you tuned in from, man. I mean, and so we could talk about white privilege, over there.
And shout out to Sheila Edwards Garcia, who said, "Congratulations, thank you very much."
Yeah, I mean, we're
Sheila, where are you from? Trying to get we got some new viewers. I want to know where everybody's tuned. Where you at? Where you reside? What county? What city? Let us know where you at. Nancy Cater Maldonado. Good.
Hey, Nancy, how you doing?
Good evening, AJ and Damon. What's going on, Nancy? Definitely strong support of the show.
So I really, did you reach out to see if we could get Eric back on the show?
Yes, I did reach out to John Carlo. He said he's put it in motion and he will get back to me.
Great.
We will see. We're in the effort to get Eric Adams back on the show. Russia, living in New York City, and tired of people telling me I have fucking have no tolerance. I have ancestry that has been persecuted for thousands of years, including genocide this past century. So welcome.
Yeah, welcome, man.
Welcome. Definitely welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on this whole Russia-Ukraine thing? What's your thoughts on that? Since you're Russian,
right? But not only that, it's interesting.
I want to hear
right? Because
I can't blame Germans. I can't blame Germans today. Why do black people get to blame white people?
because we're still under systematic white privilege, right? Institutions. Let me tell you something. If God takes the white man, makes him disappear in America, the black man can't turn his water on the next day. You know why? Because we have never been allowed to own those type of institutions, right? Every time in America, the black man tried to start his own institutions and to be independent of the white man, they destroy those institutions, just like they destroyed Black Wall Street. They destroyed certain
The Harlem Renaissance.
Harlem Renaissance. They literally destroyed that. And look that up. Look up Black Wall Street and see what they did. So we are still. I mean, and I'll be honest. You know, part of it is that we're still suffering from a slave syndrome where we still want to be close to the slave master, right? You know, 400 years of slavery does a psyche to a person, right? And we're suffering that, right? We want to be a part of the white man system so much, right? We're majority of the basketball players. Well, what the hell? You don't have to play with them, right? Leave and start your own league, right? Football too, right? They don't even want to hire a black coach, but the black players are not standing up and saying, you know what? If you don't go hire a black coach, we're not going to play. We're going to get with some rappers or some millionaire people, Master P and all them, and start that. So, you know, I mean, we still thank God for people like Master P and them that are telling people to start their own. But we still don't want to, right? Because the white man's ice is colder, right? His beer tastes better, you know. So we're still under white supremacy and white privilege. That's why we have to have a black Westchester. And they say, well,
that's conditioning.
Why won't we have a white Westchester? You do.
You know, we were taught that, you know, white is right.
In Westchester magazine. Right? They know don't get Westchester. I mean, and I'm not taking a jab at Westchester magazine, right? They do what they do. But if you open up Westchester magazine, you don't see stories about us. But we're in Westchester, right? You don't see stories about us.
You're starting to a little bit because of us, but yeah. Terry Watson. Hold on, Terry Watson, who said he is tuned in. He's watching from State College in Pennsylvania. He said black people are not blaming white people. We are saying acknowledge accurate history.
Right.
There is no reconciliation without truth.
Right. Now, our brother
and
our visitor says this.
A Russian brother who's tuned in said, "I agree."
At the same time, I don't hear Jewish people constantly blaming Germans or media. Jewish people have not allowed nobody else to forget the Holocaust, right? To forget the Holocaust. Hold on. Before you go to the next one, you can take that down. They haven't to forget the Holocaust. Why is this not hiding?
I don't know. I think we both hit it at the same time.
Okay. They haven't allowed the world to forget the Holocaust, and they got reparations for the Holocaust. We still have not received reparations for 400 years of free labor. Right? They even promised black people 40 acres and a mule. We still haven't got our 40 acres. We ain't seen a goddamn mule. We haven't done nothing. We haven't got anything. But guess what? If you put and this is true story, and it's not knocking Jewish people, it's showing how they made the world not forget. Someone had put spray painted a swastika on a dumpster at a high school here in Westchester. And it was standing room only for politicians to local leaders, to clergy, standing room only. Everybody crowded up to try to get into the camera to denounce the swastika on a dumpster. But in White Plains, police officers are recorded and heard calling a man a nigger and killing him. And we couldn't, and it was crickets. You couldn't get the same people to come out for that. You couldn't get them to come out for that. So you can't tell me as a black person, that other ethnic groups that have been oppressed are not keeping that oppression, the idea of oppression and what they go through out of the minds of people. That is bullshit. The problem is we are not standing up the way that we're supposed to be as a people.
There you have it. And for those who don't know, the gentleman they was talking about, 68-year-old Kenneth Chamberlain Sr., retired military veteran, retired Westchester County correction officer. So he was in law enforcement. The officers mocked his military history. They mocked him. They called him the N-word. They mocked him. They then took down his door. They were called for a welfare check because he fell asleep and hit his life alert button, and he didn't respond right away when life alert tried to respond to get him the call, and so they called the police for a welfare check. They went to check on him, ended up breaking down his door, tasing him, beanbagging him, and killing him within 90 minutes because of his address, because they just knew that something had to be going on inside there. So this is the White Plains Police Department. This is 10 years ago. And to this day, no officer has been held accountable. Nothing has been done.
Well, the family's
we're going to keep that alive. The family's in court, and like I said, shout out to Nancy Cater Maldonado. We're helping keep all the names alive. Jonathan Maldonado killed by the Greenberg police. Kamal Flowers killed by the New Rochelle police. We hear about George Floyd's and Eric Garner's all over but we have George Floyd's here in Westchester too. And right. Like Damon said, everyone came out for the painting of a swastika on a dumpster. And those same people did not see the egregiousness of what happened to Kenneth Chamberlain Jr. in other situations. And so it is a double standard. So we're not going to continue on this, but I just want to thank my Russian brother for tuning in and for asking the questions. I really appreciate you watching. So, and I had one more question. I just want to shout out to my brother Terry Watson, in which we got to get him a date to come on the show. His new book, his new book is called Next Sunday. Available next Sunday.
Oh, Terry, next Sunday, if you watch it, man, I'll text you. He said, AJ said next Sunday. His new book is on Amazon right now, and it's called Welcome to the Sick Mind of a Sane Person, Deconstructing Racism and White Supremacy. We're going to talk about it next week. We're going to talk about it if Terry is available.
It's on Amazon. It's on
Amazon right now. I'm trying to see.
I need to look that up. I need to buy that so I can read it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I could. Trying to see if I could bring it over so I could put it up real quick. See if I could.
So yeah, I would definitely want to thank our Russian brother for tuning in. That's definitely first time viewer.
Yeah, he wanted to call in. We don't do all that.
And Terry said I'm available. So next Sunday 6:30, my brother.
Next Sunday 6:30.
I gotta get a copy of your book. Yeah, I gotta get a copy of your book so I can read some of it before you get on, so I can be able to speak intelligently about it. So, but that topic is definitely, my brother. You got me with the title. I'm definitely interested in that. That's a conversation we need to have. So yeah, 6 o'clock next Sunday. 6.
I'm gonna try to put it up right now. See if I could get it. Do we got room? I think we got room, right? With the pictures.
Yeah. We got plenty of room. There's 10 boxes. Are you trying to put it in the as a banner?
Yeah, just a.
I mean, as
Oh,
a back screen.
Well, what was the overlay, right? We got to do it as an overlay? No, right?
No, background.
Okay, background.
Do it as a background.
Okay. Add a background. Okay.
And I can take us either that or share the screen.
Oh, I could did. Oh shit! I could just did that. You know what? It's easy. Yeah, I forgot all about that shit. I could just share the screen. All right, let me go back. Share the screen.
Okay. I see you loaded it, but I don't see it there though. Okay, there it goes.
No, I'm just gonna share the screen.
Let me see. Oh, okay. Let me take that off then.
No, it's not letting me share the damn screen.
Okay. For all of y'all who tuned in for the first time, shout out to Paul Anthony Cuesta. Shout out to Tara Latimer Wilson. Shout out to the Honorable Christopher Johnson, county legislator, all tuned in. And Nicole Benjamin, I think I gave you a shout out already. Those are the people I see on my Facebook page. There's other people on YouTube and on LinkedIn. I got to set my screen for that too. Yeah, so there's a lot going on right now. We're gonna talk a little bit later about the situation with the 16-year-old girl was stabbed to death in Mount Vernon by a 14-year-old girl, and a couple of other situations going on. Shout out to the city of Greenburgh. I think they just appointed their first black captain of the police department. Shout out to brother Ken Bright. It's another brother out there doing the damn thing. We got to bring him on the show soon too. Ken, we got to bring you on the show soon. Talk about all the work that you're doing with recidivism and all that. Definitely got to bring you on the show. Word up. So I see you still trying to figure it out?
Yeah. It's not letting me share it because it says my screen's a lot. I don't know what the hell. It's something.
So message me the book cover.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can do it. Yeah, message me the book cover.
All right, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. This is usually where Bob fills in. Bob, when he's here, he does all the sharing on the screen.
Exactly.
Shout out to Dr. Bob. Shout out to Lorraine Lopez. Didn't get it yet.
No, I ain't sent it yet.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting here looking for it. Yeah, so keeping the conversation going. My brother here tonight, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about a lot of issues. That last hour is gonna be a hot hour. We have a guest coming on. They're supposed to come on in a few minutes. Hopefully they.
Oh shit! I think it's in the Black Westchester.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we just did all of that. I just realized that my laptop wasn't plugged in and was about to die. So that could have been an issue. Hold on. I see Damon sent the photo. Hold on. Okay. Download, save image as. All right. Now let me see. Go back. Share screen.
So you know, while we waiting on the next guest, there's a thing. There's a few things. Geez, it's kind of chilly down here. It's a few things that we wanted to. I want to follow up. I want to follow up. I'm kind of pissed that I can't do the share because because I wanted to share. I don't know how I got locked out of this share thing, man. I was just doing it the other day. Like, I don't know how I got locked out of that.
Well, bottom line, I'll post it when I post the show on Black Westchester. It will be right under the video, and you'll see it right there. And we'll be announcing him as our next guest for next week. So you'll see it next week. And our guest is here.
Welcome.
So we're gonna go. Welcome to the show, Dino Williams. How are you?
Thank you so very much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So today I would like to talk a little bit about Earth Day and an Earth Day event that is virtual event actually that's scheduled in Mount Vernon on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be an opportunity for all Mount Vernon residents to come and hear more about what is going on in our city in response to climate change and how, as a city, we're addressing climate change effect and impact on our community. So,
let me stop you real quick. For those who don't know, what is Earth Day? Because I'm sure there are some people that have no idea what Earth Day is.
Okay, so Earth Day is traditionally celebrated on April 22nd. That was last Friday. And
Right.
it was an attempt by, I guess, some what we would know as hippies, right, back in the day, to get some attention to what is going on in our planet. What are the bad things we're doing? So back in the 70s and 60s and even the 80s, they were called tree huggers. And they're a group of activists who actually started this whole celebration of Earth Day. It's an acknowledgement of this ship that we live in that travels around the sun and how we need to take care of it so that it can take care of us. And so now it is an international observation. Many countries observe Earth Day. Um, and so it while it is a day and traditionally April is the month when there are a lot of Earth Day activities, we have to recognize now that climate change is something that's happening to our planet and that the whole impact is not something we can just force into the month of April. We have to think about the planet and how we take care of our planet 12 months during the year. And the impact of climate change is not just something that hippies have to worry about. It actually creates greater danger for the environmental justice communities or poor communities. Poor communities stand the worst chance of surviving climatic changes because we don't have the financing in many cases after hurricanes or floods to rebuild our communities. We saw that happen after Katrina in Louisiana, and we also have to think about things like food insecurity. As the climate changes, farmland become overflooded. There are more areas of drought, and in communities of color, poor communities, the impact is felt mostly by our families and our community. We see this happening now, right now. I mean, I think everyone has the experience of recently going to the supermarket and coming out with barely a bag and spending $100.
You right about
David,
that.
David was talking about that 2-3 hours ago.
Yes, exactly. And so it's an opportunity to see what will happen if there are more extreme climatic conditions. What happens when there are more floods and farmers can't reap all their crops? Well, of course, the market takes over, and what happens in the market is that the prices go up, and people who can least afford it are the ones who don't have food, right?
Right.
Right now in Mount Vernon, most places of worship or community organizations are giving food to more people than they have in the past. And this is very concerning. So, um, food insecurity is a big issue, and it's a big issue that we're seeing in Mount Vernon and other cities. And we're asking our residents, if you have extra, contact the food bank, help somebody who has, who needs food. You know, I'm guilty of it. Go into your cupboard. There are probably some things that you will never use in the that's sitting right there, right? That's going to expire next year and you're never going to use it. Give it to the food bank because there's some family, there's some child who needs the food. And another thing that I am personally promoting is, backyard gardens, right? It's
Mhm.
spring now. Go to wherever you get your seeds from. Go to Home Depot, order from Amazon. Plant some tomatoes, some zucchini, what have you. Trade with your neighbors. If you have extra stuff, give it to somebody in the community. But that will help to alleviate some food costs in our community. So that's Earth Day. But we're having this event.
It's
Sorry, go ahead.
it's funny. It's funny that you said that when I was growing up. Oh,
But
I'm sorry. Hello. AJ, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
it's funny that you said that when I was growing up, and my mom moved me to Long Island. We had a neighbor across the street, and she had a great big garden, and she used to give us a lot of things like big cabbages and all kinds of stuff that, we used to get a lot of stuff from her, and we need to get back to those days.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to get back to sharing and eating from the things we produce, right?
hmm
So those are some of the things that and that's an easy thing to do. We can get we can get all sorts of things that we can plant in our gardens. We can plant things in our tabletops. Look at thyme, all the herbs we need, we can plant that, right? So, you know, important thing for us to do is to get back given to the earth. And as a matter of fact, I tell people, if you really want to find out how to live closer to the earth, ask your grandmother, right? People
Absolutely.
who ask people who are older, people who live down south, right? They know more about how to live off the earth. They know more about how to deal with challenging times such as food insecurity. They don't go to the store to buy a pie. They make something, right? It's cheaper and it's healthier, and they know exactly how to deal with what's going on Earth Day. So in the chat, AJ and Damon, I shared registration information for this Thursday evening event. So it's going to be an opportunity for Mount Vernon residents to hear all about what's going on in Mount Vernon, about climate change and some of the things we're doing to combat climate change. We're also going to have trivia events and cash prizes. So we want people to come and learn and win some money and enjoy themselves. There's a lot going on in Mount Vernon that a lot of residents don't know about, and we'd like to share those events with you.
No, great, great, great. That's great.
Uh-huh.
That's,
So, I'm
but
sorry.
I just wanted to. So when we're talking about health and wellness, and we're talking about the how food is getting expensive, um, is it will do we ever have a conversation? Can have a conversation around climate change? Because I don't think the Black community itself has been a food desert. You know, it's been hard to to get fresh fruits and vegetables in a quality that has quality.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and when we're talking about that, um, you know, and dealing with and trying to have fresh produce in farms, a city like Mount Vernon is, how could that happen when it's not a lot of areas that we could grow fresh produce, or there's not any type of blueprint or plan from the leaders in the city to really start addressing that. I believe it's great, but how do we get the cultural shift in a city like Mount Vernon to start looking at fresh produce and growing it?
Okay. And that is a very, very important point
Hmm.
because, as you well know, compared to other parts of Westchester, Mount Vernon would be considered an urban center, right? We're small, 4.4 square miles, and we are densely populated. And so there are few pieces of land that's available for growing, unlike in places like Bedford, where people have a house an acre or a house every 2 acres, right?
Right.
So we will probably have to think smartly about this. There are few few, I would say, successful experiments about how people in urban centers can really create gardens. Usually, it's a lot of land at a time. And we are looking to get places like the Westchester Land Trust
Hmm.
to purchase land in Mount Vernon, maybe a block at a time, so we can use these blocks of land as preserved space
Hmm.
and use it as space to get gardens. It won't be an acre at a time, it may just be a lot of land at a time. I think that we're going to have to shift our expectation of what an urban garden looks like and what urban food planting looks like. We have a lot of single family homes in Mount Vernon. As I said, I'm inviting people to plant in their backyard.
Hmm.
It's a great opportunity for children to learn about, you know, planting and farming. And also, in doing rooftop gardens, if we
Hmm.
can get a lot of our even multifamily buildings or what have you to think about rooftop gardens so that we can get some of those things planted. We have a couple of parks in Mount Vernon, maybe um, you know devoting some of that space to a garden that we can plant some food for our community, but it's going to be really challenging. One of the things, of course, is to bring in food from outside and have farmers market. We've done that successfully in the past. There was the regular farmers market in Mount Vernon. Of course, COVID disrupted much of that. But if we can get farmers to bring food to Mount Vernon and certainly publicize those kinds of fresh food, organic vegetables to sorry to help with the food desert, you know, um, problem. I mean, it is going to be a challenge. But I want to tell you something that just occurred to me, Damon, that I learned about last year, right? So last year, and I'll tell you what, the, we had a program at YCOP, right, for kids about climate change, right, to teach school age children about climate change. And we had one speaker come in to talk about food.
Hmm.
And what was so disturbing to me is how much manufacturers are changing the definition of food by things like bioengineering.
Hmm.
So here's a laugh, and it's not really funny. There are scientists in Japan that are trying to create a square tomato because a square tomato is easier to pack and ship than a round tomato.
I believe it.
Now, now think about it for a second. Their major concern is the shape of the tomato for packing and shipping,
Hmm.
but not whether the tomato is nutritious.
Hmm. I believe it.
Yeah, so sometimes you eat these foods from the supermarket, and then you go somewhere and you eat something that's picked fresh off a tree, and the taste is completely different. And you're saying to yourself, "Well, what am I eating when I buy these from the supermarket?" I'm eating the square tomato, the thing that is convenient to grow, not the thing that's the most nutritious. We've got to a point now where there used to be like 400 species of apples that would be available. Now we only grow a few species of apple or a few species of corn, the ones that are more resistant to chemicals or to disease. Well, actually, the ones that are more resistant to disease. But we've lost all those foods that are the most nutritious foods.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it's kind of scary that we're eating junk even when we think we're eating fresh fruit and vegetable. So we have to, as consumers, retake and take ownership of the food we eat. The food industry is worth billions of dollars, right? Somehow we're getting the short end of the stick. We are getting the short end of the stick because manufacturers and distributors are deciding and designing foods that's easy for them to make money, but they're not preserving foods that are the most nutritious.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
so we would like everybody to come out and celebrate with us. I want to share with you a little bit about our summer program. Last summer, we started an experimental program in Mount Vernon, first of its kind in the state and maybe even the country. It was to share information and teach young people about climate change and the impact of on their lives.
AJ?
It was free for the students. It was free for the students, and we had a wonderful time. This summer, we're doing it again in Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, White Plains, Portchester, Yonkers, and we are looking forward to having more participation from Mount Vernon. We expect 2 sites in Mount Vernon, and we're going to be starting on July 5th. And what we want to do is that we want to let our children be aware of what they're up against, what they're going to be up against when they become adults, what uh, careers are available in energy and the environment, so that they're prepared.
Right.
Climate change is we're all in it kind of thing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
the solution to climate change may well come from someone in Mount Vernon, right?
Right.
So all children are accepted, and we are very excited about this, and we hope to grow this program throughout Westchester and throughout New York State. And it started right here in Mount Vernon and Wyckoff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta take that down. I'm sorry. Oop, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Press the
That's
wrong button. Thank you. Thank you.
But you figured it out though. Finally.
I didn't know it was gonna pop up like that.
No, what you're saying is very important.
Exactly.
I know at some point they were talking about like some of the zombie houses that are in Mount Vernon, knocking them down and actually using that property as a community garden. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a talk a couple of mayors ago. It never happened, but it's definitely a doable situation. We have a lot of vacant zombie type houses that but they have to be removed properly. The problem we have people trying to knock them down illegally, but we have to remove them properly. And you have that lot that could be used, and the people on that block could start a community garden and nourish it and watch it and take care of it. And we can start doing what you said. We can have another block doing other foods, and we can start trading foods and bartering and even selling off the food cheaper than fresh foods for our communities.
Absolutely.
I think that's very important. I want to shout out Ken Bright because he's tuned in. I know his organization is one of the organizations in Mount Vernon that gives out a lot of fresh produce and stuff, and we need to get back to that. We need to take advantage, and like you said, the lines are longer than they've ever been when they give out this fresh produce. And that's a testament to the how things are right now. I mean, people can't afford. I mean, you can't afford. I mean, you're sitting there at a gas station sometimes, trying to figure out, do I want a gallon of gas or a gallon of milk or whatever?
That's
Like, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to
right.
make life decisions at the pump now. Like, and when you go shopping, and one of the things that can alleviate that is getting back to, um, you know, um, uh, getting back to growing our own food. And I know
Absolutely.
there are other groups that are, there's a Black Farmers Organization. I know they came to 4th Street Playground one time, one of the events they had, and they had a table set up. And, people were at all the other tables, and it was one of the least visited tables. And they were
Yeah,
trying to teach what they were doing and to tell more people, we need to get our people, it's a mental thing. We have to, I don't know what it is, we have to teach them, and that we need to do this. I know Damon's doing a lot of work, with his books and stuff, and trying to educate people on eating fruits and vegetables, and building up our immune system,
yeah,
which was very important. Like during COVID, we talk about what vaccines are good and the masks good. And I always watch Bill Maher on HBO, and he said the one thing that they're not telling us is we can do so much more internally by building up our immune systems, by exercising, and you know what I'm saying, and by eating healthier. We
mhm,
can save ourselves a lot of times, not having to deal with what's going on with the government is telling us, and we can't trust the government, what side is telling us the truth. And this is stuff we can do for ourselves to be healthier.
absolutely, absolutely. And the idea of having zombie houses and purchasing those properties and using them for food gardens is an excellent idea. I think that the two cautions I want to make sure that happens is that the houses are removed properly and that the
Properly.
soil is treated properly, because what
Yes.
we have in Mount Vernon is a lot of our soil is contaminated. Back in the heyday, Mount Vernon was considered like a real industrial area, many parts of it, and we want to make sure the soil is treated properly so that whatever food we grow is going to nourish us. But even if those even if the land, is just used for like a park, if we don't plant food there,
Absolutely.
there's a park there, we have more green space, and of course, more trees we have, the more we help to treat the environment, treat the air, keep the air cleaner. So this would be an opportunity for Mount Vernon to become green. I am very optimistic about the future of Mount Vernon. As you may already know, the city received a lot of money to treat the sewers, and
Hmm.
it's an exciting time.
$150 million from the governor. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And it's a very exciting time because there are many types of ways to do this. There's something called community district systems, that where you can take all the sewer that comes out and use it to make heat. And so there are companies that do that. And so this is a very exciting time for us to and do renewable energy as we fix the sewers, and really Mount Vernon getting on the map as a clean energy, green energy kind of community. And this is be very exciting for our city. So I'm very excited. I think that there are lots of opportunities.
We have to take advantage of these opportunities. I know the last few years there were two organizations that were trying to get homeowners to convert to solar, and they were going to do the work for free, and put the panels on the roof and everything. You know what I'm saying? You just had to agree to it, and then they were telling you how you would build up, and that extra energy you would end up selling to Con Ed, and you would cut down
Mhm.
your bills considerably. But
Yes.
very few people took advantage of it. And the second part of that was this organization, because the more houses they got, the more workers they need, and they were going to train our youth or whoever wanted to learn to get these good paying jobs, and dealing with solar. You know what I'm saying? So we have to take advantage of this new, this green energy, this clean energy, and train our kids. That's another whole training that they can get into, because that is the way of the future. You know what I'm saying? So our communities, usually we had a couple of people come on to discuss an environmental justice, and they were talking about just that. Um, because these are a lot of good paying jobs that are going to be in the future. And usually we don't find out about them until after, everybody else has took advantage of it. We need to get in on the ground floor and learn now.
That's one of the things we're going to talk about on Thursday night. Adopt Clean Energy, the sign behind me, that company, we're training people for those green energy jobs. We have more training coming up. We're training people. We got people that passed their exam, and we're writing up their resumes now. We have jobs for them. And so, yeah, we are training people in the community to get green jobs. So, yes, it is going to be a wonderful future if anybody is trained to do green jobs. It really is. And, we're going to talk more about that. We could talk about how people can qualify for training. The training only takes a few weeks, so you don't have to go to college and spend years writing a thesis. And some people who pass these exams and get experience can make as much as $100,000 a year. So we're going to talk about that on Friday as well. AJ, we're going to talk about green jobs and all the other kind of opportunities that are going on in the green energy economy for our young people and even for older people who want to be retrained because maybe during COVID their industry changed and they can't get a job. So if you are interested in finding out more about training, please tune in on Thursday. I left the link for the registration, AJ, if you can flash it again, so everybody can know how they can find out more about jobs and job training. And we really, adopt clean energy. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say when I post this on blackwestchester.com, I will put the link below the video so people can click on it. And I wanted to say Sandy who's the team coordinator, I think that's the title, at the Boys and Girls Club. She said the Boys and Girls Club must be kept in mind. Green jobs for the Boys and Girls Club youth. Like she'd be interested in talking to you about that. So I will definitely connect the two of y'all together so y'all can have that conversation.
Thank you very much. Yes, we will be more than happy. We're here to help Mount Vernon young people. We want to see people get their lives on track and keep on being prosperous. So yes, we are all for that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I will post all this information. I think you had sent me a flyer. If not, resend it. And when I post this on Black Westchester, that will be under it with the registration link. And I will encourage everybody who hears this, who's watching this live, and who will watch this later, that's in the Mount Vernon area, to check it out. And I also apologize with this whole thing working at home. As you can hear, there are stuff going back and forth down the street. So I apologize for the background noise. I'm trying to mute myself a little bit, but I can't always catch them. So sometimes y'all gonna hear it. Okay. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for coming on. And yes, make sure you send me the flyer and I will post it.
I will. Thank you. Thursday night, virtual meeting. Come enjoy, win some money, and learn some about energy and climate change. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. So yeah, we have to change the conversation. We're talking about one of the things, we're talking about the youth and the youth being out of control and the violence and senseless violence in the city of Mount Vernon and other urban cities as well, but especially the city of Mount Vernon right now. One of the things that will help that considerably is, and Damon and I talk about that, there's no trades. There's no, like, everyone who comes out of high school is not college bound or college is going to go to college. But, we used to have trades in school teaching auto mechanic and other things going on that they can leave and go into a field that they can make money and it's a career. You know what I'm saying? And we need to train our youth for all these new jobs that are coming up so that our kids take advantage of. Right. So absolutely. That's definitely something I'm pushing. So I will share this later on the website so everybody can see it. And I'd like to thank Diana. Shout out to several people. Sandy from the Boys Club, and she agreed. She said they need trades. Yes. A few other people tune in. Ken Bright. I hope to see you and Damon. and Dr. Bob Lee. No, that's Dr. Bob. His last name is not Lee. Dr. Bob Lee is the radio guy. Thursday evening, she said trades are essential. Terry Watson said we used to have trade schools, and Damon and I talk about that. And we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
When you can take a child. I know Andre Wallace and other people, not just him, but used to have the programs, used to teach the kids construction, the core curriculum, and get their OSHA card and help them get onto these construction sites. Even your son was working one of the buildings for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were able to make a fair wage, where they're not starting at like some entry level job at McDonald's or Target or something, for minimum wage. And as they're able to make a fair wage, they're able to take care of themselves. They're making money. They're able to support their families, and they're less likely to be out in the streets doing the dumb stuff that's going on. And that's one of the ways to help with the senseless violence problem that we're facing. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, we had two cheer squads where it was like a beef brewing, and so supposedly from the emails that I read, the superintendents knew about it, the school board knew about it, the principal knew about it, but no one did anything. And after they had a motorcade celebrating the 12th state champion of the Mount Vernon varsity basketball team, because they did nothing about this in advance, the violence spilled out on the streets, and there was a big melee. And it ended up with one 14 or 15-year-old girl stabbing and killing a 16-year-old girl, Kayla Green, I believe her name was, and stabbing another one multiple times. And there's a trauma. This is the other part. These kids are seeing, people are saying it's PTSD, and they're comparing it to soldiers who go to war and come home. Now, picture if the soldiers didn't come home and had to live and go to school and walk to the store in the same war zone that they, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a nonstop war zone. Right. And we're not dealing, and one incident happens and another incident happens, and we're not dealing with the trauma that these kids are facing. You know what I'm saying? So, eventually it builds up, and sometimes it acts out into these violent situations in the street. We need to deal with the mental health of our youth. This is a real thing. And COVID shed a big spotlight on a situation that the mental health situation that we was already facing in our cities and shit. COVID just blew it up. You know what I'm saying? Just blew it up even bigger. And when the mercury rises, the violence rises, and we're not even hot yet. It's not even hot yet. You know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about Bloods and Crips and gangbangers. We're talking about two cheer squads.
Right.
We're not talking about kids shooting each other from across the street. You know what I'm saying? Catching an innocent bystander. We're talking about up close. It takes a certain mentality to walk up to somebody and stab them several times. A few people, more than one person. You know what I'm saying? Like that. There's something going on that we're not dealing with. And if we do not deal with it, it's only going to get worse. And then these people become adults. And then they're raising kids, and you know what I'm saying? And they haven't dealt with their trauma yet. And I bring that up because one of the people who spoke at the recent school board, Save Mount Vernon, had a rally and a protest in front of Board of Education the other day. They protested, calling for the resignation of the superintendent, the school board, and all the administrators who knew about what was going on and didn't do nothing. This one lady spoke, and what she said was profound. When she was a freshman, she saw her family member stabbed in Mount Vernon High School, and now her daughter, who's on the cheer squad with with the girls that got stabbed and did the stabbing, she's a freshman seeing her peers stabbing other people and being stabbed and killed. And she's a freshman now. I'm going to play a piece of her video right now. This is from the school board meeting last week.
I do not condone what took place. I am saddened.
I'm going to rewind it a little bit.
I have emailed a few members furnishing proof of such threats. Yes, we have notified the
We'll go back a little further.
squad. My child has been cheering for them since she was 11 years old and is now 15. I come before you this evening because her life and the lives of her cheer family are in danger. The team as a whole has been receiving death threats. I have emailed a few members furnishing proof of such threats. Yes, we have notified the police, and now we come before you asking to act on their behalf to ensure that not one more child dies due to senseless violence. Since this act of violence took place, my child has been isolating herself in the dark, crying. She would not eat for days and actually lost 5 pounds. She is heartbroken over a child losing their life and trying to process the fact that her cheer captain has taken a life. My child never took part in any violent act or was present for any violence. I do not condone what took place. I am saddened and heartbroken as a mother. No one deserves to lose their child as Kayla's mom has. Excuse me. 28 years ago, my family member, Sheba Jackson, was stabbed to death in the halls of Mount Vernon High School. I was a freshman. My daughter is now a freshman of Mount Vernon High School and is now going through night violence involving her peer. I will never forget my aunt's screams for her child. So I ask that you please provide a remote option to ensure the safety of those that are too afraid to step foot in the school for fear of violence against them by association of their cheer squad. My child has done nothing wrong. She loves cheer. Her heart is broken, and now she has nothing but her living life. But that's all that made her want to do well in school was cheer. That's what made her want to do well, cheer. And she feels bad that someone has lost their life over the fact that no one got a chance to help these kids resolve their issues. We as adults must take accountability, and we have to do better. Not another child needs to die, and I am not sending my child back. So if you want to call anybody, you can, until I find better means if you choose not to use a remote option. I have to ensure my child lives. I am her lawyer, and her father is her lawyer. So I ask that you please hear my plea and my cry on this evening. Thank you.
I wanted to share that. I shared it on Black Westchester. This is one of the parents. There was another, Shauna Holmes actually spoke. I was trying to load that video up and I wasn't able to load it up. But it's on our Instagram page, Black Westchester Instagram page. You can see it. Shauna Holmes also spoke about her grandchildren. One goes to the Denzel Washington School for the Performing Arts and one goes to the high school. And she was talking about the situations and how it was unsafe and maybe taking her kids out of the school. And another parent said she didn't know all this was going on with the cheer team. She's taking her kid out of the cheer team. Like, you know, I show that, and Terry Watson is right when he said, and Damon said the same thing when he saw generational trauma. It appears that the mother still never got the healing and the counseling or whatever that she needed. And now she's reliving this all over again as her daughter is facing a similar situation at the same age. And this is one of the many stories. You know, they say there's 8 million stories in the naked city. This is one of the many stories of what's going on in the city of Mount Vernon and in Black communities everywhere. So I know Damon wanted to say a couple of words about that, so I'm going to pass the mic.
You know, I mean, I don't, we have to we just have to do better. I mean, at this point, you know, at this point, we know from what we have heard that there were parents that wanted to kill the beef, stop, you know, so it wouldn't get to this, so it wouldn't get to this point. Um, hey, Charles, what's happening? So we have to. I mean,
Shauna Holmes, that's what she says in her video. She went to the school to try to set up a meeting with the other parents. You know what I'm saying? Of the whoever's doing the bullying. The school was no help, basically. She couldn't get to the parents. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, she said, because that's what it was back in the days. You know, my parent, your parent, you know, we met together and we talked this out and we solved the situation. You know what I'm saying? She said she went to the school administration and she couldn't get no help and even doing that.
well, I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
that's the administration fault. Whoever was the contact person should be fired.
And that's why Save Mount Vernon was calling for all administrations, administrators who knew anything about the situation and did nothing, and they should be fired.
And I know for a fact there was one young lady that was contacted by one of the coaches, and she did nothing. She said that the issue wasn't part of the school; it was out in the street, and that was the most dumb ass. If I could remember her name, I would say it, but that was the most dumb ass statement that any school administrator could have said to a coach. You understand what I'm saying? So you know, and she should be fired, right? It should be a lot of firing going on because of this incident, because the adults dropped the ball. We always find a way to point at the children, right? But we also got to remember that these are children, and adults play the role in this bullshit. You know, adults play the role in this bullshit. Look, I wasn't a perfect parent, right? But my son, while he was living in my household, while he was under my care, custody, and control, he didn't get into no trouble. He didn't get into trouble till after he left my fucking house. And AJ, you was there. So he didn't get into trouble till after he left my house. But while he was under my care and custody and control, I controlled everything. Like, you have parents that don't even go in their kids' room. What kind of shit is that? They don't pay no rent in this motherfucker. They don't call no shots. They don't pay no bills. I searched my son's room like I was doing a cell search at the county jail. He don't call no shots. You know, if your kid is coming home, like what's wrong with some of your parents, man? If your kid's coming home with $1,000 pair of sneakers on, he's wearing $300 jeans, he got a $400 belt on, he got a $900 jacket, and no damn job.
A $900 iPhone.
Exactly. Like, and nobody's and you don't question that? I don't give a shit if they scared. They can't be scared. And they can't be scared. You can't be scared of your child. It's called get out. Call CPS. Bye.
You know, one of the things that I always remember, I remember when parents remember in the Freddie Gray situation, the one kid, I think he threw a rock and his mother embarrassed him on on national TV. She was like, you know, you're not for throwing a rock at the cops. And she was like, and then she was getting flack for, I don't know if she smacked her son or whatever, disciplining her son in public. She said, I'm going to discipline him now to the police, so you don't have to later.
Exactly. Absolutely.
She was like, we're not having that. And, you know, and she got flack from people all over the place talking about, oh, she shouldn't hit a child like that in the street and everything. Yeah, not doing that. But the Bible says spare the rod. Not doing that sometimes, if you don't do it, the system will do it, especially when there's a school to prison pipeline and it's set up for your child to be incarcerated.
No, the system is ready, willing, and able for your child to come to the facility, right?
You get better services inside than they do outside.
Exactly. The system is ready, right? The system is ready, right? The system is ready to keep your child comfortable to come to jail. You know, the system itself, like my brother from Russia, who was questioning earlier, he says, how does the system work? The system works that the system works to the point that they will invest more in a jail than invest in social programs and in school. Kim Bright said, I'm a witness. The system is ready, right? So now let me say what's going down now. So now the county, Westchester County, well, the children, yeah, emulate what they see. Absolutely. I disagree. The children emulate what they see. What they see is their parents.
And the leaders in City Hall fighting.
Right. And what they see is the politicians, and what they see is some of these fake ass preachers. Yes, they emulate what they see. They see the adults acting like a fool. That's what they see. They come out in a black community that don't have anything. And then they go in the white community and it's clean and ain't no garbage on the ground, ain't grown ass men playing dice on the fucking corner. Yes, they emulate what they see. They see us in our madness. And then we wonder, and exactly. Well, I mean, whether it's exactly, they emulate what they see. Exactly. They see us in our madness, right? And they don't have no respect.
There was a kid. Wait, there was a kid that spoke. They had a rally, the boys' club. They started a rally, a walk for Kayla, and in the video, and it's on Black Westchester, one of the youth said to all the rest of the youth, there's 300-400 youth out there, we have to be the one to solve this problem because we can't leave it up to the adults who keep saying they're going to help us and never do nothing to solve the problem. We're going to have to do it ourselves. So they have lost faith and they have seen nothing from the adults who keep coming around every now and then saying that they're going to help and then they go away and they're not there. And so they feel like the adults are doing nothing to help us.
No, they're not.
Their leaders are doing nothing to help us. And yes, Christian, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I'll put it up on the screen. He's a member of the Boys and Girls Club, but he said that on the mic to the crowd before they went on the walk.
And I totally agree. Look what they're doing at the county jail. They're installing super high speed Wi-Fi, right? So the inmates can walk around with iPads. Are you fucking kidding me? But the kids in Mount Vernon can't get iPads. Damn near, there are no damn books in the goddamn. You can't even get. I spoke at a class. It's supposed to have been a math class, and there was no social studies class, and I ain't see one damn social study book. So you're gonna, and I'm all for people having their rights now, but come on. So the criminals get iPads and PlayStations. But the kids that's trying to go to school and get an education, they can't get iPad.
Yo, you talk about books. Now, I was one of them too cool for school kids, but I had two sets of books. I had a set of book at home. I did my homework, and I had a set of book in my locker. I'm hearing from teachers and students, the teacher has one set of books for all her students she got to face all day, and she has the Xerox copies from that one book that they can use in class and they can't take home. Like, where do we get? How do we get there? From like, I know I'm dating myself. I was class of '84. It was a long time ago, but I was able to have 2 sets of books. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they don't have.
I remember
they don't
every
have
kid.
books.
I remember every kid had a book. When
Right.
we all had books. Like, you get to the class, the second week in class, everybody get assigned a book. You have teachers making copies of one book. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. No wonder they happy to go to jail, because they get an iPad
PlayStation
and PlayStations
and training.
Yeah, and training.
Better training, better trades. They learn better programs for the kids.
We're doing this backwards, but these are the politicians that y'all vote for. These are the politicians that y'all vote for. They think it's great that Ray can rob your house, kick in your door, rob your house, and go to the county jail and get an iPad so he could watch movies.
Ken, Valhalla. We're talking about Valhalla, Ken.
We're talking about Valhalla, and I'm the witness. I see it every day. Yes, Ken, they get iPads, and you know what? And you know what? One of them had the nerve to say to me, "Yo, Mr. Jones, ain't nothing but old movies on this one." Here we go. I said, "What you want? You want what's in the theater?" He had the nerve talking about, "I ain't nothing but old movies." But you do, you in jail with an iPad. You in jail with an iPad. Watching movies. In your cell. In your cell. Yeah. Jail ain't what it used to be, especially in Valhalla. Especially in Valhalla. Ken, Ken, listen, dude. They got commissary up the woodwork. Now they got Terry's laughing. Now you got eye care, right? So grandma don't have to travel up. They don't want to leave then. Exactly. They don't want to leave. Exactly. They don't want to leave. But they're not, but exactly. But you got to. They're investing in the wrong thing. They're not investing in schools. They're not investing in after school programs. They're not investing in vocational learning. They're not investing in that. Sound like a retreat. Absolutely, Nas. Camp Valhalla. Straight music. But these are the people that you vote for. So they're investing in the county jail, but they're not investing in Mount Vernon. Right? They're not investing in other Black neighborhoods that teach Black and brown poor children. Right? So this is what they're doing. So they're setting y'all up to come up anyway and be comfortable. Well, no, the kids don't have no respect for the adults because they don't see them building anything. Why should I have respect for you when I come out and I smell piss in the hallway and when I got to go to school?
Yeah, the crazy thing is, and I've heard this story from you and from others, how many kids have said that, actually, I've seen kids people walk up to you that had been locked up saying that you were the only father figure that they ever had in their life.
Exactly.
And they had mad respect for you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like they didn't respect the system and they didn't respect nobody in school. The principal in the high school, the kids don't even respect the principal. They curse him out in his face, and could walk up to him and say F you and all kinds of stuff. They have no respect for this principal that's in high school. I've heard that from parents, I've heard that from students, and I've heard that from administrators. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Ken, it's about being real. Absolutely. So Damon is real with them, and they see that and they notice that. And we have these meetings and stuff, and we have these things, and they had the thing where they tried to get a bunch of men to come to the high school and be there. Yeah, that lasted like a week or so, and then where all those men at? Like, you have to be consistent in these kids' life. You can't just show up, say some nice words, bounce. You know what I'm saying? You have to invest in them. They have to see that you care enough to be there. You know what I'm saying? Sandy has been very successful with the boys and girls up at the Boys and Girls Club because she has invested. She is there. They can call her after hours when they go through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? To tell her stuff that they can't tell their parents. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons, she's been very successful up there. And Tracy Alexander, those are two very good additions that they got to the Boys Club. And we need many more people that are invested in these kids' life and are consistent. You can't come and show up, say a couple of words and bounce, and then they don't ever see you again.
No, you have to have right, and you also, being a black man, being black, period, is not easy. You know what I'm saying? And we have to. Oh, okay. It's just, we got to get the system together, right? It needs to get done, but we have to have the right people that's going to have the right time, but at the end of the day, man, be available for the young people that's in your family. If you can't go to a school, be available for the young people in your family. Be a responsible parent to your children.
Parent, uncle.
Thank you. We appreciate you too for watching.
I said this before. I was a rebel without a pause or a cause for no apparent reason. But there were people who were invested in me, who saw something in me that got. I told the story that we had a school security guard. I was cutting class. He rode his bike all the way to my house on Monday Lane. For this meeting, he respected me, told me to come outside. We walked over to the laundromat, told me I was messing up. I need to get in school. I need to come back to school, blah, 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 blah. Told me, though, the next conversation would be with my dad, but he pulled me to the side because he was invested and he invested in me. You know what I did? I went back to school the next day. You know what I'm saying? Because this brother cared enough to ride his bike over across town to my house, pull me out of my house away from my pops, and have this conversation with me. The reason I'm not dead or in jail and didn't do double-digit spins like some of my peers that I went to school with was because there was other people outside of my parents who invested in me. You understand what I'm saying? And if the kids are out of control, it's not the kids failing us, it's our generation failing the kids. And that's real talk. Like real talk. Like this dude was a security guard. He had nothing invested in coming to my house, but he cared enough about that to reach out to me. And I appreciate that to this day. You know what I'm saying? And I had certain teachers that reached out to me. I had some youth ministers that reached out to me. I had a whole lot of people reach out to me. I had to have a building fall on my head to get it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get it the first time they said it. You know what I'm saying? I was very hard-headed. But several people invested in me because I don't know what they saw in me, but they invested in me. And I ended up being, not going that route. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of my peers. But I was the good kid that was on the fence that could have been there or been with my schoolmates or people I went to school with, their friends that did certain things and just been there with them and got caught up too.
Right. I
was a second away from that if all them people hadn't invested in me. You know what I'm saying? So I shout out to the Jesse Van Loos, the Henry Terrys, the Joe Jeanettes. You know what I'm saying? They're invested. They're out there, but we need way more than just the three of them. You know what I'm saying? We need way, way more people, and just the three of them. Kids are not supposed to be in control. The adults are supposed to be training up the kids. The song, I believe the kids are our future. Train them well and let them lead the way, but train them well and let them lead the way. The kids are not going to get it on their own. They're not supposed to. That's not the way it works. You know what I'm saying? You cannot save your child if you don't save. Yeah, that's another thing. When my daughter was younger and her friends would come. I would invite them in the house. I would pick their brains. I wanted to know who their parents were. I wanted to know. These kids spend sometimes more time because of school and everything and waking hours with my daughter than I did. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know who these kids was. I wanted to know who their parents was. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do we lose that? You know what I'm saying?
No, and Ken, you're absolutely right. When my son was living in Mount Vernon with his mother, he had two friends. He had Dries, who was very big for his age. And last time I saw him, he was still big. He's bigger, but he was very big he was a big kid. And he had this young kid named Corey. And when I took Desmond out, I took them out.
Corey, the kid that rapped that we was trying to.
No,
that Corey?
Corey's dead, right?
No, but I'm saying that Corey, the one that we were.
No.
Oh, okay, another dude. Okay.
Yeah, another kid. Corey got shot in the head, I think. In Mount Vernon. So I understood that, but I ended up pulling my son out and bringing him to live with me in Greenberg. And then he didn't see them as much. Then Corey ended up getting killed, and then I ended up seeing the Dries at the county jail, right? But at the end of the day, you have to do that. Like if you have a child and they have friends, and yes,
we hitting the button at the same time.
Yeah. And he was a good kid. You know what I'm saying? He was a good kid. When he was around me, he was a good kid. But I always took them out. And you have to do that. And it wasn't even a question, where their father was at, what their father was doing, And I knew Idris's father. I knew his father, but I never approached him about his relationship with his son. That's none of my business, right? But the point, the fact of the matter is, I tried to show them as enough manly love as I could, because they were my son's friends, and they hung with my son, So we have to do that, man. Men, if we can't be a part of those programs, at least within your circle, be a man to them children that's in your children's circle. If you can't do anything else, if you're being a man, if you're being a man to your child and he has friends, and you see that the father is not playing that role, or the kid might need a little guidance, be that man to them. Be that man, and that will go a long way. If we all did that, if every man did that, we'll be doing our job. But unfortunately, a lot of men don't do it, right? Because we are in the age of toxic manhood in the Black community. We're in the age of toxic manhood, and the sad part about it is a lot of these women enjoy this toxic man bullshit. And it's reflecting in our children, and it's reflecting in the progress of our community.
It's funny.
Exactly.
In the opposite, my mother was that for my sister's friends. Like they couldn't come to their mother, and they have a great relationship with their mother. My mother was their second mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she did the same thing you did. Like, she would take my sister and her friends out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And show them different things. And, when they were going through some stuff, sometimes the only person they could tell is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if it was serious enough, my mother would sit with them while they told their mother, because, there's certain things your mother need to know. But you know what I'm saying? That's how my mom got down with my sister and her friends. So I see that, on both sides, we need to be more involved. But like you said, you have people like Sandy from the Boys Club. You have other people, like, just because you don't have children, there's a lot of, and shout out to all the men that are raising someone else's child, because we're in the era of that. Stepfathers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the fathers in our day, the stepfather really raising the child. Shout to all, like, you know, I don't think they get enough credit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of men out there raising someone else's child,
Absolutely not.
Doing the job that their father's not doing.
Absolutely not. And the thing about it is, it's so natural, right? That if you are in a relationship with a woman, that you take on, you know, the role with the woman's child. It's just, you know, it's an unspeakable rule. Like, it's unspoken. Like, it's just natural. It's just natural to do it. But we don't. But those type of black men, or men in general, but since it's Black Westchester, we talking about black men, right? They don't get the credit that is due, you know, because one of the most important thing in nurturing of a child, you know, a men child and little girls, right, and little girls, is having a strong black man. You know, having a strong black man, you know, in their life. You know,
I want to show Latanya, I agree with you 100%. I would not be who I am today without nosy neighbors who told on me. There was, like, they would, but I'd go home. My mother already knew what I did before I got home because of the neighbor on the other side of town. Like, yeah, I had some nosy neighbors too that spared me a lot.
Yes, yeah, we do. We do use the word men, you know, very loosely. That's why you know, you know, I mean, right now we just right now what's in control and what's cool is grown boys.
We have too many boys over the age of 21. That's the problem in our community.
We have 45, we have 50-year-old boys. You know, we have 50-year-old boys, right? We don't have men, you know, and we have even less divinely inspired men.
Right.
You know, if you want to take it to the next level, right? We have even less divinely inspired men. Because if we were more divinely inspired and led by spirituality, our community wouldn't be in such a toxic chaos as it is today. So, you know, take that or leave it. But that's just straight music. You know, but we still have to, you know, try to address issues. You know, I mean, with all our education, then, you know, you can have all this education, but if the systems that you're controlling are still out of whack and still failing the people, yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that's great. You know, we need to, and we need to ask what the kids need.
See that, and that's the other thing we be having. You know, we have these meetings about what the kids need, and Brenda Crump. She always said we got to stop talking about what the kids need without having the kids in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Like we're talking about what they need and what we're going to do for them, but we don't have them in the conversation to talk about what they need. You know, and again, someone said something earlier, and I don't remember whose comment it was. And I was talking about the mental health. I think Sandy. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes instead of judging them, they need somebody to talk to them so that you can understand why they feel the same way they feel or why they're acting out the same. Some of these people are just looking for attention. They're not getting any attention. So even acting out the bad attention is the only attention they're getting because they're not getting attention. They're not getting love from anywhere else. They're not getting attention. So when that person that talks to them, that allows them to talk, you know what I'm saying, and gets to know them, creates a relationship with them, like it's a whole different world. It's a whole different ball game.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
Initials behind your name. Initials behind your name mean nothing to a hurt community.
Who said that? That was great.
Ken Bright.
Well, I mean, it's proven, right? That you don't that you can have all the education you want in the world, but if you're not if you're not producing a thriving community, it really means nothing.
David, keep talking. I'm about to close my window so we can get some of this noise.
And black people have been throwing their BSs and their MSs and their DRs and all that, and we haven't even advanced. Like I said earlier, if we take the white people, the white man, we want to blame the white man, right? That's it's always the scapegoat, right? It's always a scapegoat. But if the white man was wiped off the planet tomorrow, we couldn't even turn our water on because we don't even own a water company. We couldn't even turn the lights would turn off because we don't have what? A company that produces electricity. Matter of fact, we probably won't even get around. We'll run out of gas because we don't even have a national gas station. Gas company. Right? How are we gonna get tires on our car? We don't even have a black tire company. Hell, we couldn't even put police tape around a homicide because we don't even own the company to make the police tape. Right? All the supermarkets were closed except the little corner store. Well, we don't even how many bodegas? We don't even own corner stores. So where we go? We can't even shop. Can't even fly, right? You ain't seeing your auntie in California because we don't even have we don't even have an airline company. The white man disappeared tomorrow and took all this stuff. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. You won't even have internet. Matter of fact, you might as well throw your cell phone away because we ain't even got a black cell phone company. So, and we wonder why our children don't respect us because we are not building what we're supposed to build for our children's future. We got to start building, man. I mean, look, we gotta start building as a people. But when you have people like Dr. Claude Anderson, who went out and tried to get these rich Negroes to back black projects, they won't do it. What's the point of having all this money, right? What's the brother? That's one of the richest black people in the world, right? One of the richest black people in the world, and he begging and pleading to buy an NFL team.
Mm.
Think about that. Huh?
I did hear something that I was pleased to hear about. The brother who paid for the billionaire who paid for after kids graduated, that graduating class, he paid all their debt.
Right.
My friend, a good friend of mine, two of his kids were in that graduating class.
Right.
He still checks on them. Like it wasn't like he just made an investment and left. He checks on those kids on a regular basis. He checks with them.
That's supposed to be buying one of the teams.
Right? Oh, is it? Is it?
Why? Build your own goddamn league.
That's
build your own league. Like why he's one of the richest. He's the richest black person, right, in America. There's this African guy that's the richest black person in the world, but he's the richest black person. He's up there, right? We know he's up there. But why are you begging to be in a league, the NFL, that's already known to be racist? Why are you even spending your money with them? What, to say you the first Negro to own an NFL team instead of instead of because you got your money. If you got your money, that means what? You got influence. You got other investors that have money. Then build your own team.
So the gentleman I was talking about was Robert F.
Yeah,
Smith.
right. He's the one that's trying to buy one of the teams. Why? We still have even with all that money, he still and I'm not knocking his philanthropist and paying for all the graduates. That's a beautiful thing. But you still have a slave mind if you're gonna look into it, you know these people are racist, and you think just because your black ass is gonna get in and own one team, that you're gonna change the color barrier of the NFL. If we can build it, she said, we can build it. Black players won't come. I think they will, because Deion Sanders is messing up the college because them young black players want to go to Jackson State. They don't want to go to Duke, and they don't want to go. What Deion's doing in Jackson State, and God bless Jackson State. That's my adopted university. So I used to go there all the time with one of my mentors, Professor Bell, who was the director of criminal justice and sociology. God bless Professor Bell. And I used to go there every year. Love Jackson State, and it's great what Deion's doing. And they're getting mad. These white colleges are getting mad because these number 1, number 2, number 3 high school students that are black, instead of looking to go to Duke and all them, they want to go to Jackson State. They want to go to Jackson State. Now, if he could do it on that level, we could do it on a big level on a pro team. Right?
And it's funny. When they wouldn't let us play in their leagues, we had our own leagues. And then when we started making too much noise, they started pilfering the best of our league to incorporate them into their league. You know what I'm saying? Which killed our league. You know what I'm saying? But we had this because we couldn't play. And before segregation, we supported our black businesses. We had black businesses and stuff we had because we couldn't go to the white business. We couldn't go to the white doctor. We couldn't go to the white dentist. So we had Black Wall Street. They had their own things because they could not go to those white businesses, so they created their own. You know what I'm saying? And we lost a lot of that with the whole segregation. Hafiz, rest in peace. Hafiz said on our show, Hafiz Muhammad, he said, "You know how you get a black person's money? Tell them you don't want it, and you can't. That they can't spend it there." And we go out of our way. My money's just good as the other person. My money spends like everybody, and we bust our ass to spend our money because they told us they don't want it.
You know what was crazy about baseball? Jackie Robinson wasn't the best motherfucker.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. See, and
he wasn't even the top one.
It's crazy. And who was it? The pitcher, Satchel Paige.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him in until he got old.
Right.
And he was still striking them out. And he was an old man by the time the major leagues allowed him to play. The black players, if they would have allowed those black players to come in,
black, too strong, they couldn't.
They would have wiped them up. The Negro League would have wiped them up. They would have wiped them up. There would have been riots at every baseball game because them black players would have shut them white teams out. They would shut them out.
A lot of the black players, they couldn't have sat there like Jackie Robinson being called a nigga and all that other stuff. They would have handled it a whole lot differently.
He was the right one to do it, but the thing was,
he wasn't the best.
The talent, they didn't want them in. The talent,
right?
And they was terrified of Satchel Paige on the mound.
Right.
They were terrified. He was a damn old man, but he still played. But still. He was an old man. If he was a young Satchel Paige, he would have struck all of them out. He'd have struck all of them out. And they Babe Ruth and all that. Yeah, great. But they were black players that would have wiped the field up with them teams.
The Major League Baseball is trying to incorporate the Negro League, there's been some pushback. They were trying to incorporate the Negro League stats in with the Hall of Fame thing. And some of those Negro League stats are way better than the Babe Ruths and all of the, like their stats is like through the wall, through the roof. Like, and they were like trying not to, they didn't want to incorporate, there's a pushback that they don't want their listing of their stats with, you know, the Major League Baseball stats.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
They should put those stats up and then put them in the Baseball Hall of Fame and put the little gold head figure of them and allow them because they still played the game. And at the end of the day, they probably played the game against other black teams that were better than right. The white teams.
Right.
So come on, man. Like it's still it's still systematic racism, right? It's still white supremacy because if you, why would you be against that, right? If you didn't want to see that these Negroes were having better batting averages or better just playing averages than the white players was back in the day when they didn't even let them play. So we still got to prove ourselves, right? And not one black baseball player, right, active or retired, will pull up the argument that they should be in, because Master will tell them to be quiet. He would tell them to be quiet, and that's, you know, and that's how this world is. And you wonder why black folks still don't have anything. They let us have cars and jewelry and bags and boots and sneakers and all that other shit. Well, you ain't amassing no motherfucking power.
And they're trying to whitewash history and take out anything that had to do with us right now in the history books. You know, we don't know our own history. We don't know who we are. We don't even know. They won't. They this like the miseducation of the Negro. Like this, that's a real thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's still a real thing. You know, that's another reason why we haven't. The Shauna Holmes said she said, and Jeff Monroe also said, and he's been saying this for years. When are we going to get more of a black curricula when most of the school is black? When we're going to get more of a black curricula? He was like, even on Black History Month, you know, we've done a lot more things than Martin Luther King having a dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not all of our history. Like, there's a lot of history that she said they don't even teach the kids. You know, Martin Luther King is not all black history.
Well, I mean,
that's in the Mount Vernon school. She said that I wanted to load her video, but it didn't load.
But at the end of the day, it's your fault. You vote for the people. You vote for the people on city council. You vote for the mayor. You vote for the people on the school board, right? Right. You put these people in. So how are you complaining? Like, to me, it's crazy, right? You complain for 2, 3, 4 years about the same shit that you complained before. You vote for people, you put them in. Then you start complaining about the same shit because the people that you voted for ain't doing shit, right? And then you vote for them again. And then you turn around and you complain about the same shit.
And fall for the banana and the tailpipe because they
understand the psyche of people when the power is in your hands to change it, and you're not changing it, but you complaining about it. But you say, oh, I got, you know what? So-and-so, yeah, but, you know, I go to dinner with his cousin. Let me keep him in. We ain't doing shit.
I went to high school with her or him or.
Exactly.
Like, my family goes back to their family. And
you know, so the point is, don't even complain. Don't complain.
The saying is, you get the government you deserve because you get the government you voted for.
Excellent.
That's the saying. So you're not happy with who's in office. You are the problem. Not necessarily. You too are the problem. Not just the elected officials. You put them there.
That's the only way.
And the rest of you that don't vote, and the rest of you don't vote, you the problem too, because you just didn't vote. So like, if you don't vote, you can't even complain. Like if you don't, like the school. Listen, the school has been in whatever shape it's been and declining for a while. But how many people go to a school board meeting? You know what I'm saying? Like we started educating people to come to city council meetings. Like how many people was really going of our people that's really going on a regular basis before we started going to the school, the city hall, the city council meetings. Same thing with the school. You don't like what's going on? Those meetings are public. You don't like what's going on in the library? Their trustee meetings are public. Y'all don't show up for this stuff. You barely vote for any of those positions.
Every institution that's in trouble are the people that were put in there by people voting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, absolutely. Damon says that all the time. How you going to expect the kids to stop gang banging when they see the adult gang banging?
Exactly. Adults just gang bang on a different level, right? The kids
trying to politically decapitate each other and take each other.
Right. The kids are not educated enough, so they physically gang bang. They shoot. They gang bang with the trigger, right? The adults gang bang on a different level. They gang bang for political power, right? And you don't have to use a trigger to do that.
We need to get back to and somebody listening is trying to work on something like that. Yo, remember when they used to be like, yo, y'all two gonna settle it like real men and put on some boxing gloves and get in the ring? Like, we need to get back to that. Cause yo, most of these kids ain't got no hand game, they ain't got no fist game. They don't even do that no more. It's like you might get beat up, but still, you know what I'm saying? You live though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me tell you, I was working, it's a housing area called J2. They call it J dorm. It's dormitory. So there's little cubicles. There's 40 cubicles, and there's a bed in it, and you get a little desk and all that. So that was where I was working. There was two kids from different gangs, right? The dude was like, "Yo, we gonna piece it up while we in here. But out in the street, it's gonna be on." I said, "Y'all can fight right here." What are y'all doing?
Get it out your system.
I was like, wait a minute, man. Oh, I got it, because y'all ain't got your guns, right? Y'all ain't got your crew. Y'all ain't got this and that. It's just mano a mano, and it's with the Dukes. Y'all want to piece it up now, right? I said, no, don't worry about me. Go ahead. I just sat at the table like this. They ain't fight. You know, so they know right from wrong. They know right from wrong. You know, so
Latanya said, yes, don't wait, fight right here.
That's what I said. I was like, what? I mean, I heard that. I was like, what did you just say? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, man. Y'all get it in right here. Don't worry, I won't hit the code. I'll let y'all I'll let you, till one get the best of the other, then I'll hit the code. Yo, we gotta fight. Come on down. But that's man, that's crazy, man.
Sandy's right. She said they can't channel their anger and stems from the pressures they endure every day. There is no channel for what they go through. That's what I'm talking about. They have no way of channeling it. There's no activities for them to channel it. There's you know, if you ain't got a wicked jump shot, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying. What Biggie say? Either sling and rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't got a wicked jump shot, or you know, nice with the football or whatever, like there's no outlets. There's nothing for you to get. There's a lot of our kids. Look, man, remember the 4 Square Peace Project? It was like 54 gang members and street people and kids on the street came together for the love of music and made this joint Pray for My City. You know what I'm saying? While they were working on that project, was no shootings or nothing in the street because they was the ones, and they was calling for an end to it because the adults wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo,
You know, I wish
I say that to say we have some people are into music. So we need to have like that an outlet and stuff for them. You know what I'm saying? Some people into sports, some people are into art. You know what I'm saying? Some people are into playing an instrument. Like introduce kids, like they don't introduce kids to instruments no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know people who said the instruments saved their life. Like that was the reason they went to school. Like they wanted, you know, they did good in school and everything because of they were introduced to an instrument and that became a outlet for them. Them and their instrument.
You know, I would retire from my job next week if the school would put together and work there. If the school will put together a school with just black boys, and they will have to wear uniforms, and we will run it like a military school. And we will have vocational style education that will tap into their mind and what they like. STEM, music, martial arts. These are the classes that they will have to go to, along with the state, yeah, that's a good, but you won't get every black organization. Along with state mandated classes, we need to. A charter school would be great, and we'll just take black boys because we have to we have to channel that energy in the right direction and instill discipline, self-discipline. You know, we used to have it. We used to have the boot camp program up at the jail. Now they watered it down. That's the Eagle Academy. That's yours, Charles. That's what you got? The Eagle Academy, Charles. You want to bring me down there, man? Let's get these kids right. But they used to have the boot camp up at the jail for teenagers. And now they call it the Youthful Offender Program, and the only thing they do is play PlayStation all day, right? So it ain't. I mean, where they used to have to stand at attention, they have to learn their general orders. They used to have to march to school. You know, they used to have to do all that. You know, and you know what? Have some. Well, if they're okay, if it's like that, then that's what's needed. Something
in
like
Westchester.
That's what's needed in Westchester, right? And it's not just for Mount Vernon, but I think there are black and brown kids throughout Westchester that can utilize that, and we'll bust them boys up in there from all different parts of Westchester and give them a quality education and discipline, and then they could go off. They could go off and be correction officers, firemen. We could, because let me tell you,
LaTanya said, "Don't forget about Rockland."
Rockland, we'll bust them in from Rockland too. You know, you start adding Rockland, we need more land now. We need like a Westchester Community College campus with none but black boys. You know, that'll be a beautiful thing. Do you think teens are going to sign up? Well, I mean, the parents will have to sign them up.
And you know, remember back in the days when they gave you that choice, you want to go to jail or you want to go to the army or whatever like that? Some of these at-risk kids need to be their right. choice.
And the judge can say, I'm remanding you to the Super Duper Academy. or your ass is going to jail. Which one you want? Super Duper Academy. And then he get in and say, "Oh my God, send me to jail." Super Duper Academy ain't no joke, you know.
But there's some parents who need some help with their kids, and there's some parents that might sign their kids up for that.
No, exactly.
Because they know that their kid is out there, and they know that there's so much they can do, and they know, some single moms I know that might sign their kids up for that. And I think the judge, when these kids get in trouble, I think that should be an option.
The biggest, she says, Edwin Gould Academy campus would have been a perfect property, but other communities took advantage of that purpose. I believe it. And work with defense attorneys, district attorneys to work with the courts. Absolutely. You can have the best programs. Absolutely.
We both hit it at the same time. Go ahead.
The biggest problem that our generation does not know how to reach or connect to young people, right? Because we're scared. We're scared, right? We're scared of young people, right? We're scared of our own kids. We don't even want to talk to our kids. We don't even want to say hi, let alone, as I said on a previous show, I was in the youth defender. I was working down in the youth defender class. Actually, I was given a lunch break, and I'm down there, and they have counselors come and they do the little circle and stuff. Do you know that there were young boys down there that never got a hug from their parents? These young men that never got a hug. So how do you think these young kids are coming up and they never got a hug?
No one showed them love like that. That's what I'm saying. Some of them just need some love and attention. Like
exactly. And there's probably girls like that too that just never got a hug. Never got a hug. Just genuine love from their parents or a family member. When I see my granddaughters, I make sure I give them hugs all the time. You don't have to you don't have to use your body. Right. So when you get older, you don't have to use your body for attention, right? You're used to having attention, from a man. You don't have to use your body. You know the difference. You know the difference of genuine love and over lust.
It's amazing because some of them have never had a strong black male role model in their life, and they don't have an example of what a strong black man is. So they fall for this other stuff because they never saw that in their life. I say my father was a strong black man, and my sister married a strong brother who reminded her of the example of my father. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a strong brother, and I know my sister's in good hands, and he's a good brother. But because she had the example of what a strong black man was in her house, and even when my parents got divorced, he was still active in our lives. You know what I'm saying? She had the example of what a strong black man looked like.
Right.
So when it came time to dating and when it came time to get married, she knew what things that she wasn't taking because that's not the example she had. She ain't going for that.
Right.
Well, we after 8. Last words. Anybody else got any comments real quick? Anything they need to I know I'm gonna post a link to the event that Diana said. As anybody else have anything coming up this week that they want to uplift real quick before we break out? Latanya said, I had a mother-in-law, God rest her soul, who was almost 70, cried when I told her I love her. We gotta dig deep when we working to understand our young people. You know how many kids have never heard someone tell them I love you?
Mm-hmm.
And some of our young sisters, the only time they hear that when some predator is trying to get in their pants. You know what I'm saying? But they've never genuinely had someone tell them, I love you. and our boys have never, like you said, got a hug, and you know what I'm saying, like ever.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree. The opposite works to AJ. Girls who have had absentee fathers look for men and boys who will disappoint.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Yeah. So I mean, bottom line, it's gonna take all of us. I hope this conversation inspired something in several of y'all. I'm gonna post this later on Black Westchester. If you like what you heard here, share it so other people in your community and in your family can hear this conversation. Definitely. Damon, any last words on the topic, on the subject of what we were talking about?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to ride with us. This has been Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics Radio Show, episode 338. We're on every Sunday, 6 to 8, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn and YouTube,
22 million black victims.
You like what you heard?
Hold on.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Wait, hold on. Before we get off,
you guys share your screen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I was asking if everybody got anything they want to share. Yeah.
So here we go. Welcome to A Sick Mind of a Sane Person, Deconstructing Racism and White Supremacy by Terry Lee Watson, and he will be on next week. He will be on next week. So definitely get that book. Definitely get that book. I ordered mine, and I think mine's supposed to be delivered tomorrow.
Damon, you could do a flyer for me. Blast it out everywhere so everybody
check
it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Terry Watson said, "Yes, sir."
Yeah. There we go. If y'all can see that, there we go. Terry Watson, my man. So definitely check the book out. It's great to know this brother, man, and he's doing a lot of good work addressing institutions of racism and addressing police brutality and accountability. I had a great time. He had me come out to Penn State, and I had a great time out there, man. So it's great. We're gonna have some good conversations next week. Even beyond the book too.
Yeah, and I thank him for tuning in all the way from Pennsylvania too. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, our Russian brother who live in New York City, and my man from Atlanta, and there was several people checking in. Charles Stern, haven't seen you in a while. We got to catch
Charles,
up.
Exactly, man. What's going on, man?
He said it's the first time logging in on Facebook in a long time, and he said we're the only thing on Facebook he wanted to check out. So it was like there was nothing else to check out on Facebook but us. He was like, that interested him. So I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
Yo, and definitely, y'all, man, hey, look, I got a shameless plug. Don't forget my goddamn book, right? If you haven't bought my book, get it. Get the book, man. Get the book. If you haven't got the book, get it. Get the book. And also got the juicing book. Y'all definitely get the juicing book. But hey, listen, we got to talk about it.
No doubt. We're gonna have a couple more shows on health and wellness, because along with our saving our community, health and wellness, there's a health and wellness aspect there too. There's definitely a health and wellness aspect on the senseless violence and how the kids are acting right now. There's a health and wellness aspect that we. Here's the link, Damon. Hey, Damon, AJ, this is my first Facebook login this year. Your show is the only content on all of Facebook I actually like. I had to find that comment, put it up. Yeah, man. So Definitely check out Damon's book. Latanya says she's ordering Terry's book right now, and she said, I need your autograph, Damon, for my book.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some more book signings for Damon, and I got my book coming out June 15th on the origin story on Black Westchester, and it's a whole lot of stuff coming up right now, man. Thank you all for riding with us. We greatly appreciate it. Like I was saying, this is Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show, episode 338, streaming live every Sunday, 6 to 8 on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You like what you see on YouTube and LinkedIn, click that like button, click the subscribe button on YouTube, share the video with somebody. And that's it. Until next week, we'll have Terry Watson. We have Terry Watson on talking about his book, and I'm very interested in that topic. And Terry, I'm ordering the book right now too. As soon as I get off, next thing I do, I'm ordering the book so I can read up on some of it before you come on. Till next week, peace.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.